I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. Hey friends, I'm going to be showing y'all how I do this medium boho install using almost 3 whole bundles. And we mixed curls, and these are the 2 curls that I'm using. And this is the braid hair and the braid gel that I'm using. My size medium has 3 rows underneath the ear. I already did the first row, which has 5 braids. And now I'm parting out the second row, which will have 6 braids. You put that line straight down the middle, and then each side will have 3 braids, giving you a total of 6 braids. One of the questions I get all the time is how many pieces of human hair do I add to each braid? And that's going to change depending on the size you're doing and depending on how many bundles of the human hair you're adding. So for this size, these 3 rows underneath the ear are going to have between 6 and 7 pieces on each braid. And I'm just showing you how I'm adding that in. This is my second piece I'm adding in. This is the third piece. Fourth piece. Fifth piece. And then I also braid the human hair on the end of the braid. I do not do the perm rod method. I hate it personally. It's just my preference. I take 1 piece of hair and I split it in half because you don't want it to be too thick. I'm going to be adding half of 1 piece of hair to each leg of the braid. There's 3 legs. I'm going to be adding half of 1 piece to each, if that makes sense. So it's really like in thickness size, 1.5 pieces that I braid onto the end. And I braid down past the synthetic hair. I'm not cutting any synthetic hair off. I'm braiding past it. And then I'm doing the slip knot on the end. So the first 2 rows are done, and I'm just showing you guys how many pieces that each braid has. Each braid has about 6 or 7 pieces altogether. So it's either 5 pieces on the length of the braid and then 1 piece at the end, or 1.5 pieces at the end, or 6 pieces on the length of the braid and then 1.5 pieces on the end. So now I'm just showing how much of the human hair piece that is going to be braided into the braid. And it's about 2 or 3 inches. And I take it, I put it underneath. I don't fold it over and braid it in anymore. And that's how much is going to be braided into the braid. I saw some tutorial and this one girl had like half the braid braided into her braid, and it was like you took up half of the length inside the braid. That was crazy to me. So I just want to make sure you guys know that you really only need to add about 2 or 3 inches. No shorter than that because it will slide out. So I'm just again showing that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then that last piece and a half on the end. But now we are moving on to the top of the head, and the top of the head is going to have 6 rows on each side, or 12 rows from ear to ear. Right now I'm just parting that middle part, and then I will part from ear to ear and show you guys. So once I have my ear to ear part, I'm going to go ahead and just split that section in half, and you just want to make sure it's even because you're going to have 6 rows. Now, some people think that pre-parting is unnecessary and they part as they go, but let me tell you this. I have had enough clients tell me, and I have also in the past made these same mistakes, but they've told me that they have gone to other braiders where they noticed that their rows were just different sizes. It really bothered them. They even have had instances where they had more rows on one side than the other. You guys, pre-part, make sure that you are going to have a seamless install, okay? This will have you with returning clients because they're going to love your work and it's going to be consistent. So now I'm just showing you my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows.
And listen, if you see that one row is bigger than the other, I don't care how much time it takes you, go back over it and make it even.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. Did that hit your head?
You guys, this has never happened before.
My gosh,
and I felt
I'm so sorry.
terrible. Brittany, if you're watching, I'm so sorry, girl. Now, the good thing was it hit my hand, which was right above her head first, but it was still terrible. Now, I'm showing you guys how full this is at row 4, and that's because I am adding in 10 or 11 pieces to each braid at this point. That's very important to know because if you're trying to add 2 or 3 bundles, you need to know how many pieces you're adding to each braid so that you can get all of that in the install. To execute the bricklaying method properly, every time you're going to start parting from that middle part out. So I'm putting a braid right in the middle of that middle part because the row before it had a braid on each side of the middle part that I'm parting out. And I'm showing you how many braids I have on this row. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then that middle part braid, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 13 braids altogether on that row.
Nasty up on them nasty up. Fix things, quick things, loopings. Well, alright then. From you see me a cleanest. Clothes when me rocking at the fucking realest. Ching ching. Inna the Louis V vest. Girl want with his squeeze silicone and real bless. Can a blow breeze for the head of me penis. Coolest breeze that me rocking a sleeveless. Ease out.
So we're all done and we have a total of 9 rows. You see how full it is. She actually decided not to use the whole 3 bundles. We used about a little more than 2.5. So once I got to the top 3 rows, I started adding about 8 or 9 pieces to each braid, and it gives you this fullness. I also want to mention that it is still very lightweight. I don't understand these super heavy installs where it looks like you can't even put them up in a bun. I don't know about you, but I put my hair up in a bun all the time. I need it to be lightweight and full at the same time. So when it comes to dipping, I dip the hair in sections. I also boil the water and then let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes and let it cool off so it's not super hot anymore. Once the hair is dipped, it does shrink down a lot, but I dip my hair and I only add this Cream of Nature leave-in conditioning spray because I like the braids to be fluffy and lightweight and have a lot of movement. I don't want no hard clumped together curls. Do not add mousse, do not add spritz, do not add oil sheen spray, so that once it dries and that volume returns, it will be nice and fluffy. Thank you guys for watching. I really enjoy making this content and there's so much more coming. So make sure you're subscribed and leave me all the comments, all the questions that you have, and I will do my best to get back to you.